I'm gonna give you 2 tips to make your bench press faster, and we're gonna start right now. What's up, everybody? It's Dane Miller from GarageStrength.com, and if this is your first time to our channel and you are interested in all things strength related, everything about being more explosive, running faster, and being a better athlete in general, make sure you comment down below with what you're training for, that you like, and you subscribe, and be certain to ring that notification bell so that whenever we release an athlete performance-based video, you're the first to get those gains. So over the last decade or more at Garage Strength, we've gotten athletes that come through our door that are very strong. Their brute strength is off the chart. But one of the things that we've noticed, especially with athletes, is that they are not as explosive when they're dealing with the bench press and when they're extending those elbows. They tend to be a little bit grindy. They're not as explosive or as rapid with that lockout, and they tend to struggle as they get to higher and higher weights. They even tend to struggle to transfer this over to that athletic realm that they're participating in. It might be pummeling in wrestling. It might be throwing a stiff arm in football. It might be throwing a shot put. Anything along these lines, we've noticed that when a bench press is executed a little bit slower, the carryover to the sports realm is not as prominent. And so what we've done is we've figured out the absolute 2 best ways to increase the speed of the bench press. So that first method that we recommend to everyone is to utilize a fat bar. And so I know a lot of people don't have direct access to fat bars. Something that I might recommend is picking up fat grips or any type of apparatus that you can put around a normal Olympic standard bar and that you can then utilize to make that bar a little bit fatter. If you're involved with combat sports, I recommend even using towels to wrap around that bar to increase the grip width when you're getting under the bench press and you want to make that bit fatter. But why does that fat grip work? We'll utilize bars anywhere from 2.5 inches all the way down to 2 inches. And the reason why it works is because there's more high threshold motor unit recruitment from the prime movers. What ends up happening is when you're squeezing from your palm, now all of a sudden you get a little bit better elbow co-contraction. You're gonna have a better co-contraction from your bicep and your tricep, and that's gonna make that joint a little more stable. The same thing happens in the shoulder girdle. We have a little more motor unit recruitment because we're trying to be as stable as possible in our pecs and in our lats. We have a more stable co-contraction in our shoulders, and we're able to put out more force rapidly. So something that this can be related to is if you're walking on PVC pipes, you might notice that your hamstrings start to fire a little bit more. You might notice that your lower back is even firing a little more. And it's that same concept with the bench press and utilizing that fat bar. Now, when you can understand and feel that greater activation in your prime movers, in your pecs and in your triceps, you're able to increase the speed of your extension, and that over time will lead to tremendous gains. And we recommend using 4 sets of 4 to 6 reps with 2 sets of 10 at an unbroken pace, and that is going to lead to a much faster bench press. That second key exercise to increasing your bench press speed is the pad bench. And the way that we utilize it here at Garage Strength is based around years of research with our Olympic caliber shot putters, our Olympic caliber discus throwers, our Olympic freestyle wrestlers, is that we have seen a slow eccentric, so anywhere from 3 to 7 seconds on that slow eccentric, and then as you get to the pad, you get a rapid coupling phase and you get a strong drive to the top. Now, we like to use that slow eccentric because it's going to force the body to recruit more high threshold motor units, and then as we drive to the top, the second rep will typically be a rapid eccentric followed by another rapid concentric. Another trick that we like to use with the pad bench is time set. So we might put 315 on the bar, or 225 if you're in high school, or if you're a high school female, 135 pounds on the bar. Now we're gonna use that pad, we're gonna do a time set as rapidly as possible. And what ends up happening is during the coupling phase, we have a faster coupling contraction, then the concentric contraction becomes a little bit stronger, and the speed on the extension of the elbows is much more prominent. And this ends up carrying over tremendously well to to sports like football when you're throwing that stiff arm, sports like wrestling when you're pummeling, sports like the shot put in the discus when you're extending on that finish or rotating on the final position of the discus throw. And so we like to utilize the pad bench. We might do 7 doubles with that slow eccentric, or we might do 5 sets of 5 with that time period. But again, we've got to remember with both of these things, if we're going to be using fat bars, if we're going to be using the pad bench, we've got to do this consistently over 6 to 12 months. And I am certain if you can do this once to twice a week for 6 to 12 months, your bench press speed will rise dramatically and your bench press max could increase up to 50 to 60 pounds just by regularly training these patterns and learning how to move the bench press faster. So if you like this information, head over to garagestrength.com. We built our plateau breaker bench press program with these principles in mind. We've utilized this to get multiple people over 500 pounds in the bench press and multiple high school women to bench 225 pounds. And if you want more information on bench press training, make sure you click on this video right here. Peace.